Restaurant Unstoppable. What the most successful restaurateurs know that you don't. What is the history of hot chicken? I was curious about that coming into this interview. It started in like the 40s, 30s, right? Was it Prince's or Bolton's? Is there a lot of drama? I don't want to get you in trouble by siding.
Don't. They already. Yes. No. I want to stay above the fray here. I think that the best story that is told. Again, I don't know what the consensus is, but the sort of common origin story was that Thornton Prince Jr. Came home one night after out and about around the town doing things that I don't think his lady friend at home was all too pleased with.
Okay.
She made him some fried chicken when he got home and decided that she was so mad she doused it in cayenne.
Oh.
And
to backfired. She liked it.
He loved it.
Yeah.
And again, the extent of the truth behind that, like some of it becomes folklore, and it's even more fun just because, like, yeah, that's it. And we roll with it. But again, like, and it wasn't something that like Nashville really hung their hat on for the longest time. It wasn't like a sore, but it wasn't like this sort of like, yeah, this is what, this is our cheesesteak, this is our barbecue, like this is our thing.
Yeah.
And again, just sort of like we knew we made great fried chicken at Bishop's. Playing around with different menu ideas. It was like, oh, let's try to do our own, So we'd go to Bolton's or Prince's or 400 and bring it back to the prep table and throw it out and make notes and talk about it and what we liked, what we didn't like, and kind of evolve from there.
So before the fried chicken came on scene, I mean, because that was 2010 that the fried chicken came on scene when you were on board too, right? And it was 2012, 2 years later before you guys opened Hattie B's.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm really interested in, what I know we can get some value from in today's conversation, is how you turn something that's just a hot item on your menu, and how you take that, you see that as an opportunity to build a brand around that one thing, right? And to pull that thing out and just do one thing really well. Because I'm sure there's probably people out there listening to this who have that one item that sells like 80% of their menu, right?
Yeah.
And like, why not just do that like one thing and just focus on that one thing? So I mean, what was that evolution like from being like, okay, let's just try? What was even why even try it? Was it just like, oh, let's just do this, or was there somebody asking for it? Like, how did this like mushroom into your life?
Yeah, I think it was just sort of we'd sit down and talk about like, well, what do we think about putting this on the menu, or like, what? I don't think we do a really great job of that. Like, let's ditch it,
Yeah.
Or like, we did liver and onions, and like people ate, like that was like number one on Tuesdays. Like people love that shit. It's like awesome. We'll keep it. Like that's not my bag every week, but like, it's like what do people want? And tried and true, like fried chicken just is gonna be number one, and we ran it every day.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of great compliments about the way it was seasoned and the way how the crust on it, and just a lot of good feedback on something that, not that we didn't put a lot of thought into, but it's just like, well, that's fried chicken, that's how you do it.
Yeah,
that's how we do it.
That's Tennessee staple.
Right.
That's how you do it.
So kind of taking that and going like, what's something that's very southern? Because basically all Hattie B's is like the most condensed meat in three. It's like one meat.
Yeah.
And like, 6, 7 really like southern staple sides for a meat in three.
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious, was the fact that you had a Chick-fil-A across the street, do you think that's playing in on it too? Now that you have a menu item that is that you can get across the street, but if that line, this is like 2010 when Chick-fil-A is blowing up, right?
Right.
So people don't want to wait a half hour for some chicken that they can get across the street, which is probably better.
Yeah.
No offense, Chick-fil-A. But you know what I'm saying? Was that playing into it? Like giving this competition across the street some real competition and offering a chicken option? Was that kind of in the back of your mind?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it may have been there somewhere subconsciously, but I don't think we ever did anything to as a counterpoint to what Chick-fil-A was doing.
Yeah.
I think it was more just like, God, they got a shit ton of people. Like, what are they doing? It's so right.
Yeah.
And look, to their credit, like they do a lot of things right.
One thing really well.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And they do it really well.
Exactly.
And so, like you said, I don't know that maybe it was even like right there on the front that we were thinking about it, but obviously it was there somewhere. And so we just sort of came up with our own sort of blend that was pretty like, I didn't go to culinary school. Like, you know, like I didn't go to business school. I can taste things. I know it tastes good.
Yeah.
And I've been around it so much that it's sort of osmosis on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so we found something we thought was like super tasty, had a good amount of heat, but was like not going to just like blow the doors off.
Yeah.
So that you could sort of like make your way into this thing, and then it opens up like, well, there's a bunch of different heat levels. And you
Yeah,
can get it.
and I think that's another lesson that we can pull from today's conversation too, is that you guys really listen to your customers.
Yeah.
Is one thing I've noticed. You really, because they kind of helped you to steer you in the direction of creating your flavors. Isn't that part of the story?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was like we sort of knew that we needed like a range between like and it's not, we hadn't gotten much more creative. Mild is still called mild,
Yeah.
and like hot. One thing we found a lot with the hot chicken that we did eat was that like mild was hot and like medium was hot,
Yeah.
and it was just fucking hot, all of it, which is great. It's what it should be.
Nashville hot chicken.
Right.
Yeah.
But we also realized that like I may take my family out, or like I've
Yeah.
got an elderly person, or like I'm,
Or a kid that just
yeah,
can't handle it.
like I just can't eat hot today. Like I
Yeah.
have that, and so we really wanted to have distinct levels so that you could kind of choose your
Something
own
for everybody.
adventure. Yeah. And so it really all starts with just great Southern fried chicken,
Yeah. But weren't the customers like steering you and saying that's too hot? They're like, okay, we need something else, or like.
Yeah, I think Shut the Cluck Up kind of came from that. Was like, because we wanted to have something that was as hot as.
And that's your
everywhere else,
hottest flavor.
right?
Shut the
Yeah,
Cluck Up.
yeah. Like I think Damn Hot was our original hottest, and it's hot.
So it's Southern chicken, which is just
Yep.
breaded chicken. Then it's mild,
Yep.
medium, hot, damn hot,
Yep.
and Shut the Cluck Up.
That's it.
Okay, gotcha.
And Shut the Cluck Up was fun. Like it was actually an employee who used to work with us, and she was just she had an opinion on everything, and was really incredible at like sort of the back and forth with guests.
Yeah,
Before it got to be just like crazy
busy
and
yeah.
like you kind of just had to keep moving. There was a little more of that like intimate,
Yeah.
and she would just give people shit, and I think we remember like her telling somebody to shut the cluck up, and we were like, Keisha, like you figured it out, like, and so we like collabed with her and really kind of made that sort of a staple of what we do, and it's fun. Like it's a fun experience because there's something for everybody, and I think it's like part. I don't want to like gimmick it, but it's like part entertainment of like watching somebody try their best to
Yeah.
deal with this,
If they want to try, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.